If you've ever spent any amount of time comparing yourself to other women and feeling bad about it, this episode is for you. This week, I'm going to teach you how to get out of the comparison trap and how you can learn how to avoid it here on out. Hi there, my friends, and happy Monday. I bet that sometime within the last week, you've either been watching TV, scrolling social media, or even just been minding your own business at the grocery store when all of a sudden it happens. You start comparing yourself to someone else, to where they are in their life, to what their house looks like, or their body, or how much money you think they have in the bank. You start looking at some aspect of their life and comparing it to yours. And 9 times out of 10, you end up on the negative side of that comparison. When you look at other people, you find yourself thinking that you're somehow not measuring up. You start to question what you're doing wrong, or worse yet, wondering what's wrong with you. It happens all of a sudden, this wave of insecurity, sadness, disappointment, jealousy, judgment, and annoyance. If you've done this, you're not alone. There are studies out there that show that almost 90% of women compare themselves to other women in some way that puts them in an unfavorable light. But why do we do this? Why is this such a widespread practice, and how can we stop it? Let's first talk about why we do this. Why do we do this in the first place? And I'm saying we because I don't know a woman alive who has not at some point done this, has not compared herself to somebody else at some point in their life. Comparison is a natural human tendency. In comparing ourselves to others, what we're really doing is gathering information. We're looking to others, individuals, or the masses to tell us how we're supposed to think, how we're supposed to feel, act, look, and even believe. We compare ourselves to see if we're in alignment with society norms, which makes sense, really, if you think about how we were created in the first place. We were created to be in community with one another. We thrive in community. So it makes sense that we would look to others to see how we measure up. It's a subconscious way of seeing whether or not there's a potential for us to be ousted from the group, to be rejected for not fitting in with what we believe is deemed to be acceptable by society. Knowing where we stand in comparison to other people is a core human need. We look at our comparative standing and use it to determine how we feel about ourselves and our lives instead of seeing our own innate worthiness and beauty and all the amazing qualities that we have within ourselves. Ultimately, comparing yourself to another person is a no-win situation because you can only ever base it off of the part of that person's life that you have access to. For example, if you follow someone on social media who seemingly has a beautiful life, they've got the money, the perfect husband and kids, they're always traveling and going on the most amazing Instagrammable vacations. They have an amazing career, they're in great shape. You might be tempted to feel less than in some way because all you can think about is how you're not making millions of dollars and how you and your husband have been fighting lately. Maybe your kids are about to make you pull your hair out and you can't even remember the last time you went on a family vacation that actually felt like a vacation. You're looking at her building her business and you feel terrible because you still feel like you haven't even figured out what you want to do when you grow up. And don't even get me started on the body comparisons. You look at that woman who has had kids and still manages to work out and look amazing. And then you look at those dusty running shoes that you bought at the beginning of last year when you promised yourself you were going to start running and exercising again. When we do this, we're either going to underestimate who we are or we're going to over exaggerate who we are. Both of them are defense mechanisms and both make you feel horrible. When we underestimate who we are and we put ourselves down because of what we see of someone else's life, we're leaving out one very important thing. And you've heard it before, and it's so true. Social media and the media in general is one big highlight reel. That same woman you're looking at on Instagram or Facebook isn't showing you the parts of her life that don't feel good, that don't look good. She may not show you that she and her husband barely speak, or how she works out all of the time in order to get validation from others about how good she looks. She may not tell you about those months in her business where she wasn't having 10K months, or about how she spends so much time in self doubt and fear that it's almost crippling at times to run her business. And she doesn't have to. Nobody is entitled to any part of your life. We all get to share exactly what we want to of ourselves. We all get to show up as genuine and honest as possible without letting the general public in on every little detail of your life. The responsibility is on you to know that what you are seeing is not the full picture. It's on you to not make someone else's seemingly successful, amazing, wonderful, beautiful life mean that something is wrong with you. Now, the flip side of underestimating yourself is over exaggerating who you are. This happens usually when we have thoughts like, who does she think she is? Or I wish I had whatever thing you don't have that she does. All of these thoughts foster feelings of jealousy and envy that come from a place of lack and scarcity. Even if you only feel it for a brief, fleeting moment, even if jealousy and envy only comes up briefly and you're able to kind of capture it, it's so common that there aren't many of us that have actually achieved a level of mental fortitude that omits jealousy and envy altogether as an emotion. It's the underlying lack and scarcity that pushes us sometimes into a place of unfair judgment and criticism. It's the thought that there isn't enough, or that if she's doing it, I can't also do it. Be honest here. Now, tell me you haven't ever looked at someone and thought she's doing too much. Be honest now, it happens. Sometimes maybe they are doing too much, but more often than not, it triggers something in us that says we aren't doing enough. She's out there promoting her business or her blog or sharing her recipes online, and it makes you think about how you've been dreaming about sharing your talent with the world. It makes you feel some type of way, and responding that way makes you feel better in the moment. It creates this superiority complex where you put yourself in a higher position than someone else because you don't approve of the way they are living their life. And while you might feel justified in doing this, the truth is that it really is just a distraction of the true issue. Your thoughts about you, what you think about you, where you are in your life, and what's possible for you. When you spend all of your time comparing yourself to others, then judging them, you miss the work that you could be doing within yourself to make your dreams and goals a reality and to create the life you want for yourself. Whether you undermine or over exaggerate yourself, when you compare yourself to other people, I want you to ask yourself how it makes you feel. Does it make you feel good to look at someone else and then measure yourself up against them? Think about the emotions that it brings up. Then I want you to think about what actions you take or you don't take from feeling those emotions. Either way, I guarantee you the actions you take are not the ones that are going to get you where you want to be. Comparison is a normal, natural human tendency. So I don't want you to feel bad about yourself for doing it. I don't care how enlightened someone tells you they are or how much work they've done on their mindset. We all have had moments of comparison that either led to jealousy or judgment. So here's what I want you to do instead. I want you to catch yourself earlier. When you notice that you're going down this comparison route, I want you to stop it immediately and shift your focus. Remember, you control your thoughts, so this is 100% possible for you to do. You can shift your focus without ignoring the feeling. Find something positive that you believe about yourself now, like, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm committed to doing better every day. This way, you're not ignoring that you aren't where you want to be, but you're also not condemning yourself because of it. The second thing I want you to do is to face the facts. Now, I want you to receive this in all of the genuine love and care that I have for you, but I want to be real with you. Comparison is a trap and it is a game you will not win. If you look long enough, someone is prettier than you, someone is smarter, someone does have more success, all of those things. You can believe that in a world of billions that there is someone who fits the bill. However, that does not negate your beauty, your success, your potential, your life. I don't want you out here fighting reality, but a part of that reality is that you do have amazing qualities. There is nobody who does what you do exactly like you do it. I don't care how many other people have your same business or your same career. When you think of yourself as one of a kind, it doesn't take away from other people. You can believe that you are the best at what you do because you're the only one who does things the specific way that you do it. You can simultaneously believe that there are others who are one of a kind and the best at what they do. It takes nothing away from you and nothing away from them to think that. This puts you in a place to be able to genuinely celebrate with other people, to be excited when you see other people win, because you know that if they're winning, it's possible for you to win also. What if you looked at someone winning in their life and started seeing possibility and thinking, that's awesome for them. I'm next. I make this a daily practice in my life. Whenever I find myself comparing my business or my personal life or my weight or how my body looks to someone else and I see them winning, I allow that initial feeling of envy, those feelings of wishing my situation looked like theirs. I don't make myself wrong for doing that. I allow it because it is human nature. What I don't do is act on the feeling. I don't do things from a place of envy because that's not the type of woman I want to be. To be a dangerous woman, we have to allow our feelings while not responding and reacting from them, especially when they cause us to act out of alignment with who we are and who we are becoming. So I reroute my thoughts by thinking about how amazing it is to see other women winning. And then I think, I'm next. And after you do that, you validate that you are next by pulling out your successes and where your life is good and where it is working, where there is so much room for growth and potential. Think about if you went around thinking all day long, I'm up next. I'm next to find my partner and have a loving relationship. I'm next to have a healthy baby. I'm next to write a best-selling book. I'm next to grow my business and make millions of dollars. What if you practice thinking that on purpose? Think about how that would make you feel if you started to believe that. What type of action would you take? What things would you do differently if you truly believed that your turn was next and that you didn't need to compete or compare to anyone because your time is next? And look at what you have achieved. When you start to notice yourself measuring yourself up to other people, remember, you don't know their full story. You don't know the challenges and struggles they have. And chances are you wouldn't want to trade yours for theirs if you did know. So come up with a list of things you're proud of that you've achieved, things that you're grateful for. Everything counts. It doesn't have to be a Nobel Peace Prize. You could be proud of yourself for sticking with your budget this week or not yelling at your kids during the day. And finally, I want you to get into gratitude for the here and now. So often we look to other people and we look to over there where everything is better and it's perfect, over there where we're making the money we want, we have the body we want, and the relationships are amazing. We tell ourselves it's going to be better over there. The truth is that there is not better than here. If you don't deal with the thoughts and feelings you have in the here and now, they will just follow you into your there. And you will have the same issues and the same struggles that you do now. So instead of looking to there and to then to enjoy and love your life, look at all of the reasons you can do that right now. And don't allow your brain to tell you that you have nothing to be grateful for. Breathing, seeing, hearing, those are all reasons to be grateful. Having family and friends who love you is a reason to be grateful. seeing the sunset, or feeling a cool breeze on a 97-degree day in Georgia. All reasons to be grateful. You can be grateful for what you have now and also desire to have more in your life. The two don't have to be mutually exclusive. It's when we're in a constant state of wanting without considering what we already have that we fall into lack and scarcity. Being in gratitude puts you into abundance thinking. And when you are thinking in abundance, you don't get caught up in comparing yourself to anyone else. All right, that's it for this week. I hope you found this helpful. I want you to really implement these things in your life. I want you to really begin to see that you are empowered by taking control of your thoughts. And don't be gatekeeping, girlfriend. Tell your friends about this podcast because you know we need motivation and support, but we also need accountability. And when you start to level up, bring your girlfriends along with you. And hey, if you listen to podcast episode 5, the 4 stages to becoming a dangerous woman, and have been following along with your assigned 30-day focus, I want to know how you're doing. And if you're not doing it and you haven't listened to the podcast, I want you to go back to the podcast and find out what your 30-day focus is so you can start leveling up also. My friend Askia Jackson, who is an amazing author of children's books, an avid listener of the podcast, sent me a sweet message the other day telling me that she was 12 minutes into episode 5 and already had a whole page of notes written. She's working through her 30-day focus and then some, and she is committed to being the best version of herself. And she's amazing. That's what I'm talking about. Do this work for you. Commit to being the best version of you. That's not selfish. It helps you to give your absolute highest contribution to this world, whatever that is for you. So I want you to message me and let me know how you're doing and how you're feeling. If you are loving the information that I'm sharing here and you're learning, I want you to do a couple of things. First, I want you to subscribe to this YouTube channel and also subscribe to the podcast. It's available wherever you listen to your podcast. Then I want you to tell a girlfriend because we are over here leveling up and we don't want to leave anybody behind. So those are your responsibilities. Those are your homework. Subscribe, tell a girlfriend, and I'll see you here next Monday.